Good morning, boys and girls. All right, we are getting close to the end of Because of Mr. Turrupt. So, where we left last, they were in the hospital. They had all been waiting there. And it looked like things were going to maybe get better, but they hadn't seen Mr. Turrupt yet. So, they still do not know. But we are now at the last day of school. Okay, so maybe we'll have a clearer idea after hearing from these characters today. So we start with Jessica, which means final act, scene one. Welcome to the last day of school, where there's music and movies and games, singing and laughing and smiles all around, cakes and cookies and fun for everyone. At least this is what the last day of school is supposed to encompass. Ours didn't. Crying wasn't anything I had ever experienced on any last day of school, but crying was what I felt like doing, and I knew I wasn't the only one. We had held tremendous hope for our teacher to be with us by the end of the school year, but he wasn't. I keep wondering about the Mr. Turrupt I don't know. I've thought a lot about it since that day in the waiting room. Everyone likes Mr. Turrupt, but no one is that close to him except Miss Newberry. But even she hopes to get closer. Part of me thinks that it's not just him they're all concerned about, but us too, because they know we're the ones who are really close to him. But how can I even say that or think that when I don't truly know him? Maybe it's because it doesn't matter how well we know him. We love him. I haven't talked to anyone about this, not even my mom. I want to, but what's the point? He's not here. Mr. Turrup didn't make it. Okay, now we're down to Alexia, aka Lexi. I want to see Teach last week, and like the nurses said they were doing something and that I had to come back. I was mad, but I didn't really think anything was up. Now I'm beginning to wonder if maybe something's going on. Mrs. Williams and Miss Newberry are definitely acting strange. Like Mrs. Williams is way too perky, humming to herself and talking with silent nods to Newberry, who's been poking her head into our room one too many times today. I'm beginning to wonder if Teach woke up and like they've been keeping it a secret so they can surprise us. I'm telling you, something's up. All right, that's Lexi. Now we'll go on to Danielle. Dear God, I don't want to be mad at you, but I am. You haven't listened to my prayers. If you had, Mr. Turrup would be here. We need him. Why didn't you give him back to us? Hannah, Mrs. Williams makes me mad. Our whole class is feeling terrible, except for her. She seems happy, walking around with that bounce in her step. I even heard her humming at one point. But she quickly stopped when she realized I noticed. Is she really that happy to get the year over with? Then the thought hit me. Does she know something we don't? On to Luke. No, Mr. Turrupt. Suddenly things changed drastically for me. I'd kept believing that he was badly hurt and would recover. But now the year that the year is over, the thought of him not making it seems very real. I'm scared. And we will end off with maybe I'll get to Jessica. Here's Jeffrey. I don't know what's going on with Mrs. Williams, but I want to punch her. Oh my. The principal? What's the matter with you? I want to scream at her. I don't care if she's the principal. In case you didn't notice, Turp's going to die. I want to yell that at her, but I keep all my anger inside. Don't you dare wink at me, lady. Oh boy. Maybe we'll do one more and we'll end up with Jessica, just how we started this chapter. Final act scene. All day long I fought back tears, and now tears streamed down my face. I couldn't believe it. Mr. Turrupt made it. He was here. He was okay. We rushed out of our seats, our bodies pressed together in a giant class hug. I missed you, he said. We missed you too, we shouted. I love you guys, he said, bent down to our level. He looked at each one of us and hugged us one by one. He hugged me. I love you, Mr. Turp, I said. The words danced out of my mouth. I love you too, Jessica. We hugged some more, and then Mr. Turp spotted Peter. Peter hadn't been part of that hug. He was still sitting in his seat, probably too scared to even move, too frightened to think what Mr. Turp might or say to him. Mr. Turp stood up and walked over to Peter. We watched, and he taught us, like he did every day. We were with him. He showed us how to forgive. And for the next, we will wait for tomorrow for the next one. Okay, and that will be Luke. All right, boys and girls. All right, good job. All right, we're going to be closing this book soon, so we'll be moving on. All right, take care.